Springbok Saga is proudly brought to you by Castle Lager, the taste that stood the test of time.
Welcome to the Springbok Saga. In this episode, we look at the year 2002. If we thought 2001 was a bad year for Bok rugby, we had no idea what was coming in 2002. Springbok coach Harry Viljoen caught SAFU officials, his own players and the media by surprise when on January 19, he unexpectedly resigned as the national coach.
But that's my call. At the end, I'm going to take the blame for these selections, nobody else. I can assure you that every game the players go out there and they give me 120%. The calls and the mistakes, or the loss is my responsibility.
I've got a real soft spot for Harry. I think he's a good guy. I think he's underdeveloped emotionally as a coach because he's an individual. I think he's a great guy as a visionary, maybe one of the guys to be a team manager or something like that, but he needs people to do his bidding. And what happened was the dream and the vision was great, but the steps and the pillars put in underneath that weren't strong enough.
All Springbok coaches start with these fantastic philosophies and ideas and who they want to pick. But when the pressure comes, it turns on them and they start to change their way of thinking. And even Nick Mullett made mistakes. He admits to it today. But that's what happens. You get caught up and the pressure makes you make funny decisions.
Andre Vos shocked the rugby world at the weekend by announcing his retirement from Springbok rugby.
He's out now. It's something I've been thinking about for a while, and it's not nice walking around and it's not being able to, when people ask you about the season that lies ahead and you're not sure about what to say, but I'm pretty relieved now that it is out, that I have made the announcement, and I haven't had any second thoughts. It's definitely what I want to do.
Viljoen's departure meant SA Rugby had to appoint a new coach.
The board decided to appoint Rudolf Stroili as the next Springbok coach. We also again asked the media to be patient, to support the coach. Let's not have a situation again where in 2 months' time we have to answer a barrage of questions on teams that he selected or his support team that he announced. I believe it's time for us all now that's got rugby close at heart to be positive and to support the coach fully.
It's a really important job, and maybe one of those jobs that you get a lot of criticism and you get a lot of joy out of it. But I think the most important thing about this job is that I'm not going to make the difference, is that the whole of South Africa and all the role players in South African rugby can make a difference. And I've got to go and see everyone, and I've got to have a plan, and at the end of the day, we've got to restore a winning culture. And it's easy to talk about it, but I've got to put it over into deeds, and I think that's what I'm asking, that the people just judge me in my deeds and not in my words.
Springbok rugby was at an all-time low, but it says a lot for the power of the brand that Mark Shuttleworth chose to wear a Springbok jersey as he hurtled around Earth in a space shuttle.
Mark, your trip to space has inspired so many people across the world. What role do you believe that the Springboks can play in inspiring all South Africans in the same way you have through your expedition?
I'm really honored to be in the presence of all you guys, because you have a hugely inspirational role to play in not only in South Africa but in Africa in general. Sports is very inspirational for kids, and I hope that this project is inspirational, and it builds on the great work that you guys do in getting kids to embrace education and think positively about their lives.
We're going into the new season this coming season. All I want to know, maybe a message from up there for the team?
Just very briefly, very best of luck to you guys. I hope that you have an exceptional season and put us all back on top of the world. I can quite easily do that. So
Okay.
maybe with some new exercises for your sports guys based on Zero G. But
there's a great scrum. January's pass.
Fortunately for Springbok Rugby, a new generation was emerging as the under-21s, coached by Jake White and captained by Clyde Rathbone, won their version of the World Cup.
In the centre, here goes Rathbone, lovely pass on the inside. Jonny Muller, great tackle. He's got it away. It's Ashwin Willemse, the first try at the final. January to Swart. Swart hanging on to the ball and giving a lovely pass. This is Jean de Villiers, Clyde Rathbone, wonderful try. The ball's in touch. The referee has called end of time. South Africa have won the under-21 IRB World Cup 2002. Look at the players. Listen to the crowd. What a moment for South African rugby. They've beaten Australia by 24 points to 21. They were seeded 7th at the beginning of this tournament.
Old-timers nodded in approval when Rudolf Stroili decided to reinstitute Springbok trials.
Crowd loved that. Davidson wide, and it's intercepted by Joubert. Taken on by Stefan to Blanche. Blanche has got rid of everybody. Now it's to Blanche and Pulsar. Who's the quickest? Blanche needs to weave a little bit. Blanche will outrun them all. Dalton snatched it back. Now Pulsar is there. A lot of people say they'd love to see him playing scrum half. There was Don Human had done well. Now Jacobs and Pulsar, and the Blues are in the lead. Davidson did dig that time, and he's found space. Wonderful tackle by Friedrich Lombard, but taken over the line in exactly the place where he broke his leg in the test match by Andre Snyman. A whole host of white players were out on defence. Davidson, Greef, Dalton on his inside, goes there forward. Loubshaw who gets it over the line. They need to drive over that ball. Conradi did well to get it back to Joe van Niekerk. Now at Conradi. Just waiting for a runner. It's in the form of Andre Pretorius. Tiptoes his way through. The Blues now lead by 1 point. 34 to 33. Russell. Oh, look at this. The first touch of it. He's a great runner of the ball. And here we go with Clyde Rathbone. But here goes Russell. Brent Russell. Well, the selectors may have learned something about him. Well, he will just have to jack up on his place kicking, but he certainly has made an impact.
Welcome to Springbok, Coach. Rudolf Stroili, welcome.
Thanks, Dan.
Now, let's just get your thoughts on the trials. We saw you smiling. Everyone's been giving good reports about what they saw on Sunday.
Yes, I think that's what the public wanted to see, and also for us as selectors and coaches, we wanted to try a few combinations, and I think everything worked well. Very proud to announce the first team tonight. I must just say is that the viewers, also that the public know their rugby and they're not far out. So I think in South Africa we make a huge issue about captaincy, and I always said that the captain will come from the starting lineup. So I don't want to announce my starting lineup now. I think it's important that the selectors went through a long process and picked a very balanced squad of 22. And we're not going to announce the starting lineup until we've done some training. The police college is a private get-together, and basically for us as coaches and as management team and as players to get to know each other well, and basically rugby training. We don't have a lot of time, we only have 2 weeks. So there's going to be some hard work and back to basic values.
Everything's been very well structured, organised, things been done at the right times, nothing's been delayed.
Stroili had strong ideas of the spirit he wanted, and he hammered the message home.
Most of the guys have had their tough times on and off the field, you know, so it's a strong mental group, and that makes a big difference, you know. But at the same time, the guys at the police college, we've been left to want for nothing. I mean, we've got a wonderful gym, pool facilities, training fields, you know, where we stay is outstanding, so we didn't have much to moan about anyway.
It's not a 5-star, but it's livable. Each got our own basin there. We've got our cupboards here. Nice and spacious. Nice sea view out the window.
It was a hard few days, but we really enjoyed it. We've done some hard work, rugby-related stuff, getting ready for the Wells next week in Bloemfontein. We've worked hard, but it's been very good and very productive.
It's been a nice experience for me. It's a second chance I got, so I'm very keen. Everything I'm looking forward to, and I want to climb into everything, so I'm very keen, and it was a great experience for me so far.
What impressed all of us is that he brought back some old values. He brought back tradition, he brought back discipline, and we were very excited about turning the Boks around again from the Australisation of Harry Viljoen. And like so many other coaches, Rudolf Stroyle's first test in charge was against Wales in Bloemfontein.
Wales have always been a passionate nation about their game. They're on a knife edge at the moment. They've got a new coach. He's also going back to basics. He's coming over here to build himself a team, and that's always a dangerous thing. I mean, we underestimated France last year, and because they brought along a couple of youngsters, and we were proved very wrong on the day. Wales, for me, are a devastating side when they're playing well. And if that's the case, we'll have to do everything in our might to get out there and win the series.
Stroyle set a pattern which would endure when his first team contained 8 new caps.
Peel and the left winger Morgan, and Morgan is through! Kicking his goals, and this one will stay online for Skinstad, and eventually South Africa hold their breath. He's kicked it low and accurately. There could be a drop kick here. Here it goes, head down and over. Looking to go quickly. Now have Wales go. South Africa. Yes! Marius superb! South Africa within 1 just before half-time. And that's a better strike. And over. Defence which is spread out well. Conradi, Polsa, wide for Skinstad! In possession, they've changed the direction. Matfield gets his arm down. Touchdown! Conradi going quickly. Can he chip it? Gets it on the inside. Pass is there. Has he got to pace down? Pace Joe. Oh, was there a tackle there? No, it's a penalty try. It still comes for Wales. Peel away for Taylor. Jarvis, good hands to McBride. Super hands for Rhys Williams. Wales should go. Andre Pretorius was there, but Williams gets the try. Conradi gets it quickly here. South Africa's good score. Matfield looking for his second. South Africa's, they've scored. It's via Van Rotenbach. What a moment for the man from Kroonstad High School.
Things were looking up for the Boks, and the fans were in high spirits.
I suppose the question with the weather as to whether Neil Jenkins should maybe have played today. He's got the distance, definitely, and the direction. Paulsa, and then through the hands quickly, space for Russell. He's got his first test try. Good take that by Stephen Williams. So all the Williams is very much in play as the Welsh go over. And I'll tell you what, lead. Again, no problem with the distance or the direction. That's got to be a penalty. His kicking technique right as well. Once again, swinging it in not easy conditions. Chavez. And the referee is going to come upstairs to have a look-see here, but Davidson says, I've scored a try. And that surely is going to seal it for the Boks. What a wonderful occasion for Davidson too, and that is it, says the referee. South Africa have recorded another victory against the Welsh. 2 Saturdays in a row. They haven't been easy, but the bottom line is that the results are there as the Springboks begin their rebuilding process as well.
ultimately it was a winning start for Rudolf Stroili in his tenure as Springbok coach, but then on to the Argentinians, and it was at the Pam Brink Stadium, which is an interesting venue, and of course the Samoans, which people would have expected the Boks to simply sweep aside.
Yeah, it was well done by Rudolf Stroili at the time to include 2 more test matches against minor nations. I think he needed to get the team up and rolling so that we had Argentina in Springs, which is the first time that the Springboks played a test match at the Pam Brink Stadium since a disastrous test against the French in '64. Interestingly, Corno Krige took over the captaincy, which was a new feature of the Stroili years, and that test went quite well.
Sy kaptein Corno Krige, sy eerste toets waar hy kaptein was die toets teen Italië toe Suid-Afrika gewen het met 101 punte teenoor 0.
I'm very, very chuffed. I think for anybody to captain his country is a massive, massive honour. And I've managed to do it once before, and we won 101-0. So, I set a high target there for myself to fulfil that again. But I'm just very, very happy, and I think the nice thing about it is the way the team have handled it, and I think the way Bobby has handled it. And what we've decided is that Bob and I are not the 2 most important persons here. The team's the most important, and whoever's captain, it doesn't really matter. He just runs in front. But we've got 2 strong leaders, and it's always good to have strong leaders in the team.
The reason on changing the captain? The reason for that?
It's a funny question. I haven't heard a question like that before. I've told you that it might change next week again, and it might change in the future. And Bob did well. And I believe Corno will do well for this game.
Is it only for this test?
Yeah, for this test, yeah. And do you guys write down what I said in the past? Yes. Oh, okay.
I was, yeah. I've been involved with a couple of contentious times. Rudolf, I think, he's a rugby man through and through. I think his campaign lacked honesty. And that's brutally honest from a player. I've said it to him. I would say it again. He is a rugby guy. He's got a great sense of humour. He's a nice guy to chat to. I just think at the time, I don't think he was the right guy for the Springbok job.
The Springs test was a memorable one for at least one Springbok, Ollie Leroux, earning his 50th international cap.
Played 10 seasons. What was the biggest highlight?
Yeah, obviously my first selection for the Springboks was incredible. Yeah. And the Tri-Nations victory in '98, and then my favourite memory probably would be unfair to just pick one, but my try against Scotland in the World Cup. And my mother was there, she came through, and just to score my first try is just like the joy, and sometimes I see the reruns, it was one of the most incredible highlights of my life.
The Argentinians out onto this quite magnificent playing surface, Joel. You were down there and I think probably discussed it, but it really is looking good. Stefan Teblan smothers in, good skill by Skinstad. Now chance here, Jacobs can go all the way here. It's Eddie Jacobs on his home ground. Now it's a chance here for Andre Pretorius, needs to look for, he finds Davidson, try number 2. Now the Argentinians pile up to the 5-metre line. Good pass by Quesada, by Pichot, and it looks like it is Fernandez. Very nearly through. Oh, he's got it away to Blanche. Now the sprint is on. Stefan Blanche gets it around on the right, correct side. This is Joe van Niekerk, and offloads Andre Pretorius. Now looks for support. Can he go all the way? Finds Pretorius. Pretorius cracks on the pace. He's got Joe van Niekerk with him and David Barry. Now it's Paul Sowers up there quickly. Try number 2, Stefan Blanche. Fernandez lobby in his way. And look at this. Bola Conradi will get his try.
You weren't all that happy about coming out here to Springs. You would have preferred to play in a major stadium, but it is a great venue, this.
No, I think it was excellent. The people were great. I think it's good to bring rugby to the roots and where people enjoy it. So I think it was a great for South Africa Union to bring them here and play international rugby. I think people deserve to watch international rugby.
We started the game very badly. We lost the first kick-off and they just put a lot of pressure on us. And I said to the guys, just forget about the start. Let's build the innings. Let's go into the game slowly. And I thought I was proud of the way we played, but we let them back in with too many penalties.
A win is a win, and after the test, East Randers showed how it's done by celebrating until late into the night at the Castle Marquee, putting everyone into the right frame of mind for the next test against Samoa at Loftus Versfeld.
Tonight it's boots and all island style as the Samoans arrive at Joburg International Airport for only their second test match against the Springboks at Loftus this weekend.
Come in. Now it's Werner Greef. There's nobody there. Now the chase is on. It's Van Niekerk. It's Bola Conradi. Van Niekerk should get there. Well, now the control needs to be there. Oh, beautifully controlled. And he's put it inside to Werner Greef. Savalu. Now here goes big Lafali. Can he get the pass in? Look at this by Samoa. It's Tuilaga. Ferretti this time. Somebody blatantly offside there. It's Lafali. And massive players here. It could be Pretorius. It is David Barry. They produce the ball. Van Niekerk, Pretorius. Wide forward, Tulsa. Whoa, the little man nearly over. Dean Hall is there. Number 4, Conradi. The switch to Duprier. Delaray Duprier. Delaray Duprier laying it off for Dean Hall. Try number 2. Skinstad just working it on the side there. Here goes to Blanche. Cracks on the pace. Van Niekerk up on his shoulder. Now can Van Niekerk go all the way? Oh, he finds Andre Pretorius, who finds De Vetberry. Very nearly there. Skinstad hovers, goes wide. De Kock, Pretorius. Oh, Andre Pretorius very nearly through. Pops it up.
Yeah, we didn't have any videos on them, Joel, so it was very difficult. But we decided that we're going to prepare as well as we possibly can and play our game as well as we can. And I'm very chuffed with the way we won.
Well, I was going to ask you, a result like this must be very satisfying.
Yes, I think we made it difficult for ourselves at times. But as I said, when we played a structured game as we planned before, we looked very good. So hopefully we can take that into Tri-Nations.
Considering the relative ease at which the Springboks had won their first 4 matches under Strolley, it was then on to the Tri-Nations again. And some years it's something to look forward to, and other years we absolutely dread it.
Exactly, Colo. When we flew down to New Zealand, there was an air of optimism. Things were looking good under Rudolf Strolley. The team had picked up. Our first test against the All Blacks was in Wellington, funnily enough at another venue now, the Westpac Stadium, which has been built down on the harbour front in Wellington, away from the old athletic park, the stadium which used to be known as the Temple of the Wind. But if anybody got blown away in Wellington that day, it was the Springboks. Jonah Lomu, coming on as a substitute, would play his last test against South Africa and would end up never having scored a try against the Springboks.
And there's the first one, and it's well taken too by Chris Jack. Here comes the run from Aaron Major, and he gets hit high. Conradi again for Pretorius. He's always likely to have a go, and they just hang on. It was Somerville who had to make the tackle. Now Krief. And Krief gets through, and he's gone right past them all. And Werner Krief has scored a brilliant individual try. Pretorius, that's on target. The middle. Now Willie Meyer.
8 and 7 waiting in front.
Wow, what a kick. Right in the centre of the field, and the drop kick from Krief.
Offside again.
Marshall to Mertens. Cullen is in. Here's a chance and Doug Harris. Tell you what, Smithy,
He's a genius.
Always all breathe a sigh of relief.
Hammett goes short to Robertson. Hammett will score.
The test was marred by a double error by the match officials, including referee Stuart Dickinson, which influenced the eventual outcome.
This is great stuff, isn't it? Straight, maybe not quite
Not
5 metres.
5 metres, no, that's
Never
what I was
mind. That is a beauty.
But I did find that there were certain referees that always gave sort of the 50-50 decision always went one way. And I think as a captain, that's probably your biggest role, is that you've got to try and influence the referee to a point where the 50-50s, more of them go your way than they go the opposition way. Because in any game, there's, say, 20, 50-50 calls. And you want 12 or 15 to go your way and the rest to the opposition. And not the other way around, because those can often cost you the game, you know. And George Gregan was a master at that, because he was always at the referee.
Middle line, and they've got a penalty too coming up. They can't kick it out. Pretty good. Fields in the road, and he's going to be penalised sooner or later. Mertens will try the drop kick, and if it works, which it does.
Yeah, that one had to be moved, I think.
Marshall looks away to the far side, and Ruben Thorn has scored the try. Well, that's a horrible kick, but it might work out all right. Umaga claims it, and it's bounced loose, and Joubert is going to score a very easy try. Here's Pretorius. And now the margin is cut to 11 points. 7 advantage, good hands. Cullen to Howlett. Howlett's still upright. Marshall is in. Back by Jack. And the All Blacks get him behind now. Marshall. And through goes Robertson. And that is a well-deserved try.
Down to 14 men didn't help your cause either. It was a tough old encounter, wasn't there? There's a bit of niggle involved, and looks like you guys suffered the most at the hands of the referee in that regard.
Well, yeah, you know, New Zealand, South Africa game's always very physical, and it was no different today. Just very disappointed that a few vital decisions went against us. I don't think the referee's fault. It's just 50-50s that went against us, and that cost us a few points. And then once we went down, you know, we were always struggling. We were struggling in the conditions to kick good ball up in the air and try and win them back. So our game plan didn't work today, but next week's another week.
Flight delays in New Zealand resulted in a marathon 9-hour trek across the Tasman back to Brisbane for the Boks. But on Monday morning it was back to business and back to the Brisbane Grammar School for their daily gym session. The Boks escaped Saturday's grueling battle in Wellington with only a few minor injuries. Centre Devet Barry sported a black eye, but he will be ready for Saturday. Bok coach Rudolf Stroili remained in a positive mood despite the big points difference.
There's a lot of positives to be taken out of it. Obviously, we're a growing side, and we've got to look at those mistakes that we made and improve on that. I think the main importance for us as a team is to realise that there is 80 minutes. You've got to play for 80 minutes, and the vital period just before half time. I would say 5 minutes before half time, and the 10 minutes just after half time.
The Boks had good reason to be upset with the referee's handling of the match, but maintained good diplomacy.
Well, as a team, we're not going to complain about it. You're going to get good calls and you're going to get tough calls. You've got to live with it, and that makes a real special side to basically win, even if there's 1 or 2 tough calls against you.
As part of their build-up to the clash against Australia, the Springboks have again called in defence expert Les Kiss, who spent some valuable time with the Boks as they prepared to avoid a repeat of the New Zealand match, in which they conceded 5 tries.
Footsies, and they're going to have a go at them.
So Larkin working it in close. Nice variation for Gregan. This is Tune. And he's there. There's an open side flanker. No problem with the distance. Joubert was the tackler. Into space again for the Wallabies. Latham. Joubert again. Missed him. Sterling Mortlock. Goal line ahead here for Gregan. Here's Latham. There it is, number 3. It's 6s and 7s here. Finnegan. Look at the hands for Sharp. He's weighted that one nicely. That's Latham. Oh, he was taken in the air. That's dangerous play by Krief. It's a legal play, and it should be a caution. This is the flare-up we anticipated.
Well, Van Rautenbach going on with it afterwards. Number 3 for the Springboks. It was unnecessary. Latham hit late. And it is on.
Very ugly. Paddy O'Brien's got his flag out. It was 20 to sort it.
Okay, touch judge report on you two. A flurry of punches. You kept it going when you could have stopped. Both these players are going in the bin.
So 2 Aussies in the bin.
Please. Unnecessarily. You're going as well in the bin. Penalties against you. Your side started it.
This aggressive defence of the Wallabies that's distracting them.
Well, there's another overlap here. Here they go. This is Joubert. Full back to beat. Off he goes. Brilliant work by Joubert. He's outspent them. Classic try by the young centre. Dalton through. Van Niekerk. The referee spotted a penalty. It's been like clockwork. Dalton out wide. He was a decoy. Here's a chance. Joubert. And another one for South Africa. Did he get it down?
I call it good. Stacey goes down and places it. Great try.
Great comeback by the Boks. It's coming back here too. Brayton Paulson, the tackler. Larkham again. Tune just ran into a man there. The ball's gone into touch. The chase is on, and look at Paulson. He could win it. Tune there first. He went without it. Paulson skids that.
A great contest for the ball again by the Boks.
Here they go. This is their chance, and this is the quick man, Joubert. And now Russell. He is electric. Oh, just ankle tap, but he'll still get there. Brett Russell. The Wallabies are all on the left here. South Africa a little skinny. Latham, and there it is. Chris Latham gets his second try. And that's the bonus.
I notice you haven't complained about Faan being put forward as a sighting, but was anything said about that the whole fight might have been started by George Gregan kneeling down on Van der Greef?
It definitely started by their captain putting both knees into Van der Greef, and then at the end just nudging it a bit further with his right knee. And then James pushed him off, and then everything started off there. James luckily didn't throw any punch, and also when they mobbed on James, Bobby came from behind and pushed him off there. And then Ben Tune came in and basically from the side and punched Bobby, and not just only punched Bobby but also punched Corne on the ground. There's got to be accountability on both sides, players, teams, referees and administrators.
Almost halfway through the Tri-Nations, the Boks back home, this time to take on the All Blacks in Durban, but quite an eventful match. And usually we speak of the events that happen off the field, but all of it seemed to have taken place on the field, and it wasn't all just rugby then.
Yeah, particularly in this game, it was yet another Tri-Nations that had gone sour, with 2 defeats on the road. And there we were in Durban, and the Boks were giving a good account of themselves. And just after half-time, there was an intrusion by a man called Piet van Sail.
Whoa, what is that? That is atrocious.
It was damaging to the image of South African rugby, but it certainly was an incident nobody will ever forget.
De Kock. A little bit of space, and here comes Dean Hall. Down he goes. Van der Greef on the inside. He thought about the fear for the beautiful pickup. De Kock is going to get his first test try. Also, over the years, been a really dangerous man. But just look at this. Mertens now the inside. Umanga, is he going to make McDonald for the corner? Major. Umanga going on his own. Thumped to the deck by 2 Springbok. The referee has ruled that the tackle was high, and he's given a penalty try.
Penalty try?
Move away, tackler, move away. That's fine.
Well, credit to both teams, generally. Unsuccessful kick thus far for Andre Pretorius. Can we make that 2? Yeah, looks like it.
Don't disagree, and it was knocked on.
Referee playing advantage and doing it well. This is Pretorius. Now, Mertens it is who's defending there. Was there a push and a shove? The referee has given the try. Mertens. Umanga. Dangerous territory for the winger. And Doug Howlett is going to get in, so they back themselves, New Zealand, and they've got the try.
Well, we're going to see who settles in the... It looks like Tated. South Africa have got the first Tated.
Unbelievable scrum that from South Africa. Got them on the back foot, but they're going to have to come back.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I've never met a referee that's cheated blatantly. Got to say that. I've got to give that to the referees. I think any referee that did that would be really stupid, because he's also part of a career that he's decided to choose, you know. So, and he's working on it, and he gets judged on how he referees. So if he cheats blatantly, I mean, you're going to pick it up, and he's going to lose his job. But I did find that there were certain referees that gave sort of the 50-50 decision always went one way.
Oh, what does that? That is atrocious.
Daar was 2 blaaklante foute deur die skeieregter gedurende die eerste helfte. Die een waarin Bruiten Olsen na se 3 na obstruksie volgens die skeieregter nie toegeken is nie.
To the dummy man. He was actually just trying to outfox him, but Lane Mercury said obstruction, penalty to New Zealand. And the crowd is definitely not happy.
En die tweede, die straf dat die toegeken na Marius Joubert se hoogvat.
You can see Umanga just going to the deck.
Toe die skeieregter beslis dat die bal wat vanaf Bobby Skinstad se knie vorentoe gespat het aangeslaan is. Voordat ek my oë kon uitvee, was ek op die veld en het meneer Dave McHugh voor my opgedoen. Oor die gebeure hierna wil ek my nie op hierdie stadium uitlaat nie, aangesien daar 'n regsgeding hangende is. Indien dit egter bydra tot die skepping van 'n struktuur waarop skeieregters en wedstrydbeamptes volgens prestasie geëvalueer word en die wat nie op standaard is nie, toegelaat word om op internasionale wedstryde te hanteer nie, is ek bereid om die gevolge te dra vir enige oortredings deur my begaan.
So a lot of people might think that the incident was not that serious, but I can tell you it seriously harmed us, and it's going to take us a good few years again to get our reputation back.
Well, a handful for the All Blacks, I must say. We've seen from Joe Fanico, Dean Hall on the odd occasion, Devet Barry as well. Is it going to hold its line? Yes, it has. Springboks unable to take that kick in. Umanga, a high tackle on him from Pretorius with a drop attempt. Has he got it straight? Yes, he has. Competition from the Springboks. But this one, it looks like he's got it straight through the middle. All away, even more important. But now they've got some numbers. Here comes Major. Aaron Major's slapped through, and he's going to score between the uprights.
2 tries disallowed, which had a huge impact on the game.
Yeah, you know, it's very difficult for me to say now whether they were tries, but still, it's devastating for us to lose this game. We really thought we can pull it off today.
Yeah, it was one of the hardest things to do in rugby is to come to South Africa and win, and especially against such a tough, courageous young Springbok side. And you know, it was a real battle out there, and I really take my hats off to the Springboks. They played fantastic.
But after that, it was back to the rugby and back to South Africa, of course, where the Springboks now already were for the return test against the Wallabies this time round in Ellis Park. And what a cracker of a match that turned out to be.
Yeah, a wonderful test match. We've mentioned that Ellis Park is our field of dreams, you know, and in fact there is a view that we should play every test match at Ellis Park because the Boks really do well there. An interesting tactic by Rudolf Streuer. He picked Van der Greef at fullback and Brent Russell at fly half, or vice versa, because they were interspersing as the game went on. You know, one of them at fullback on defence and the other at fly half, and then when we were on attack we did it differently. But as it turned out, when we were on attack, Van der Greef, who was meant to be in defence at the time, came up and scored one of the arguably greatest tries in Springbok rugby. Ellis Park provided an appropriate backdrop for the first time the Nelson Mandela Plate was contested on South African soil.
There have been great strides made in the transformed rugby.
and create opportunity for all South Africans at all levels of the game. It is an honor for me to be associated with this event. This year sees the second Mandela Cup match and the first that will be played on South African soil.
A little bit dangerous because the maul had formed almost. Gregan set advantage. That has the distance. Darwin very well, he secured it. No, Russell snatched it away. To take it a little bit quicker. Bang through the middle. South Africa decide to go piling through the middle. Worked out by, now here goes Baton Pulsar. He needed that. Towards the 22. De Kock, Russell, Barry, Yubert, Russell. Sydney is Russell is away. Russell will put South Africa in the lead. If De Kock gets, must be a try. Baton Pulsar second. What a start for South Africa. Here's the gymnastics. Tolan said Nathan Sharp was punching.
Go away, guys.
Well, that is right in front of the touch judge there. There goes De Kock. Krief. If they go wide and straight here, Dean Hall. Skinstad needs to go straight. Get his hands through beautifully. Joe van Niekerk. Watch this for a sprint. The whole of Joburg will go mad about that. Gregan, Larkham, Herbert. This is Matt Rogers. He's very dangerous. Whoa, he gets the ball down.
Playing advantage.
Gregan, wide for Kefu, and Kefu gets the try.
It's again the speed of the ball. Comes on the inside, does Matt Rogers, and Maurice Chabert should have just left him.
Not good enough. I'm sorry, you're gone.
Tackler holding on to the ball. Watch Gregan. Takes the drop kick. That is over. Ollie Leroux with the throw. Skinstad couldn't get. This is George Smith in space. George Smith. Has he the pace to go all the way? Pulsar gets back. Stays on his feet. Now it's that looks like it's Cannon who's got in for the try. A bit Skinstad to Blanche. There goes the siren. Referee indicates that he's heard it. Well taken by Scholes. Now, can South Africa keep the ball alive long enough? Look at the Australian defenders there. Labuskachny. Rotenbach goes in. Conradi, Russell. Wide for Skinstad. Van Niekerk is there. Skinstad well tackled there by, amongst others, Gregan. Another ball for South Africa. Oh, Werner! Look at this! Look at the Wallabies charging up. He's kicked it dead centre.
The Mandela Trophy comes home at last. Corne Krige, Springbok captain. It was far too close for comfort.
Yeah, again, we played well in the first half and the first bit of the second half, and they were allowed them to come back, but I'm very chuffed in the way we ended. You know, we've been very unlucky in the last few Tri-Nations games. You know, the referees have nailed us a little bit today. Paddy O'Brien was unbelievable. And I'm just... You know, it's just awesome for us to come to Ellis Park today and know that there's 63,000 people for the first time since the '95 World Cup.
Before the end of year tour, there was a major blow for Springbok Rugby when two great stalwarts, Andre Venter and Mark Andrews, both members of the 50 Club, were prematurely pushed into retirement.
It wasn't an easy decision, and I've got a little baby boy, and he's actually the reason why I want to spend more time with my family. And I think it's more easy for him to go without me than for me to go without him. And so that's the most important reason why I decided to call it a day.
One of the statement says from South African rugby,
The decision I basically made at the beginning of the year when my wife fell pregnant. You get a feeling in your stomach that it's time to go. I've always said I'd like to go on my terms and not be swept out with the rubbish at the end of the season. And I just feel that it's the right time. It's the right time to say thank you and goodbye.
As if anticipating the weather the Boks might encounter on tour at the end of the year, the clouds opened up over Absa Stadium in Durban yesterday for the National Elite Squad training camp with the Natal Sharks.
South African rugby is healthy, but it's very important to get our preparation for end of the year tour, and not just even end of the year tour, but also next year Super 12 organised and being well prepared. I think you're halfway there.
You can't go over there and compete against England and France, after just getting together once, after the Currie Cup final. I think it's really important that we get together. And even if you don't do much on the field, I think it's just good that the guys see each other, have a chat, and that closeness is kept in a sense, So I think it's really important. We hear that England are getting together like twice a week, so during their domestic season as well. So, it's something we have to do, and I think it's something that worked really well today and that the guys really enjoyed.
The Boks faced a difficult tour, but even the magic of Madiba could not save the team from the disgrace that was soon to follow.
If there is a good team which South Africa still, it is this one. You did very well in the last match, and all of us will be holding our thumbs up, wishing you well.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
The Boks waved a farewell to their number one fan as they headed to the Mediterranean city of Marseille to take on France. Before the test, SuperSport's Hugh Bladen, a veteran of more than 100 test matches in the commentary booth, was honoured to be asked to present the jerseys to the team.
And tomorrow I will watch my 130th test match. And nothing's changed. Nothing's changed in terms of the excitement, in terms of the thrill that I get when I watch the Bokke run onto the field.
Including Bakkies Botha for his debut.
It's a big surprise for me, but I'm ready and geared for this weekend against France.
Hunts him down, and looks like he may have won the ball for South Africa, but it's penalisable, says referee Alain Roland.
I'm going to get a word in, yes.
You see there, he turned terribly badly. Waits for the okay from the man on the side. The French crowd very sporting. Well, it's a good strike. The flags go up. Castagnette, and Castagnette has popped it over the crossbar. Giannis Labuskakny. Important that South Africa maintain control.
You're getting 10 minutes in the bin for no necessity. Can I ask you something? You can.
Well, Bakkies Botha has been sent to the sin bin. The timing is sweet, the direction is good. Galtier's tackle, but Galtier stopped the momentum again, so South Africa have got the ball. South Africa on the board, he's kept his head down well. The flags go up. Bringing it back into the forwards, and France have to whip the ball away, has a chance of the French counter. This is where they're so dangerous. Claire, he's got Galtier on his outside, as Galtier puts in a perfectly placed cross kick. Heymans gets away from the cover, and Heymans will get the first try for France. South Africa just missing one or two first-time tackles, and same position as he kicked the conversion. Brayton Paulsa, and here's a chance for Joe van Niekerk. Cracks on the pace, and South Africa see a little bit of light. I felt here's a Betsen, Chayet, Gorbajosa, and Claire gives chase. Paul says there, Claire got a hand on the ball. That's a try.
That's a try. I couldn't see the touchdown.
Basically, firstly, to congratulate the French. I think well-deserved victory. And from a South African side, obviously, we're disappointed. Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. From the first, second minute. Not just only injury-wise, but controlling the ball. And one of
worst performances by a Springbok side.
I wasn't surprised by the way they played. We expected that. We expected the crowd to be hostile. We expected everything, and I think we're professional rugby players and we should be able to block out all the negatives and still be able to produce on our game. And I think the disappointing thing today was that we couldn't put phases together. We couldn't get our ball in the lineouts. We just really struggled, and I think if I had a nightmare before the game about how bad the game could go, it wouldn't have been as bad as it was today.
Well, Dan, until this stage, the Springboks had a fairly favourable record against Scotland at Murrayfield, and this is where they were headed to next. And after that record loss in the first test of the tour, they were heading straight into another.
Yeah, you're quite right. I mean, there was the 44-0 in 1951, and then another big victory under Nick Mallett. So Edinburgh was a place we like to go to. But again, injuries were playing a role. I think a lack of experience was playing a role. And Stroyle was forced to pick quite a strange-looking Springbok pack for the game against Scotland at Murrayfield. And it also turned out to be a test that Andre Pretorius at Fly-Off would really like to forget.
Nee, ek dink ons is op die regte pad. Volgende jaar is die Wêreldbeker, so is 'n jong span. En ek dink hy moet net die manne bymekaar hou en dieselfde span kies soos Engeland wat 2 jaar al dieselfde span het. As ons dit kan hou vir volgende jaar hierdie tyd, is ons kanse goed.
Referee waiting for advantage to Scotland. Laney. Good positional play by Greer, but they'll go back for the penalty. Struck it well, and Scotland are in the lead. Had control. Advantage again to Scotland. Redpath knew it. They're using this up and under to good effect. Well taken by Lombard. They'll go back for the penalty. He struck it well again, and Scotland extend their lead to 6. Redpath, Murray. Well held up by James once again. South Africa need to drive in on that. The referee says get away Green, but South Africa get the penalty. And the direction is good towards the 5-metre line. Great work by Lucas van Biljon. This is South Africa's best moment. Penalty. 37 minutes gone in the first half. Swing in and over. No, he can't. He needs to let the ball go. Well, that's a good kick by Lane. Well held by the South African forwards. They need to hold it up, they need to push backwards. The Scottish players say that's a try. There's no ways that he can give that as a try.
Op die kyk weer baie duidelik.
Well, he's given it. But that curls in, that's a great kick. That's a very, very good kick. Conradi under pressure. Pretorius under more pressure. And he sport it forward. It's a try. It's a try to Scotland as South Africa spilt it. I think Walker might have got in for the touchdown.
We're all emotional at the moment and shouldn't say too much.
Nou, as ek glo net een ding, mense sê nooit dit kan nie slegter gaan nie. Ek dink as ek vandag geles hier geleer het, was dit kan altyd slegter gaan. Ek is net bly ons speel die volgende week teen Roemenië en hulle was blykbaar 'n skrale 12 punte swakker op hierdie stadion as die Springbokke vandag was. Ek dink ons rugby is vandag in sake as hier 'n ander manier om dit te beskryf hier.
Well, after the Edinburgh test, I'm sure the Boks were thinking that it can't get any worse than this. But it was on to England and a test match that many of us, I think, remember seeing, and that scoreline, something that many would rather forget.
Tola, I'm sure many of the fans remember switching off their television screens. It was a horror test, a record score, a record of all time. And I think the Springboks shamed 100 years of tradition at Twickenham that afternoon. You don't have to look, but we have to show it.
Werner Kruse has to run it out of there. Now back is back for it again, and they need to sprint. South Africa put the pressure on. Robinson is there back, and very nearly thumping tackle by Corne Krige.
Corne Krige uitstekende verdediging daar so. Perry O'Brien heeltemal tevrede met daai duik.
Dawson, Wilkinson. It's so useful that Wilkinson is able to kick with either foot. Good take by Greef and super tackle there from Mike Tyndall. Advantage to England. Holding on. Well, he doesn't miss these too often, and England are in the lead. Picked up there by Dawson. Good step in by the England scrum half. They need to take him out. Delalio, wonderful support here. England very dangerous. Here goes Ben Cohen. Vital tackle by Robbie Fleck. Vital by Robbie Fleck now. Was that a try? But Wilkinson with plenty of space. Now that's a problem. Jonas Novoskopny is going to spend time in the cooler here. Red card. That is a dreadful blow to South Africa. Dawson, Wilkinson waiting for the dummy runners. It's Greenwood. And Greenwood takes it over the line. And they all contribute. No, they had to score there. And Martin Johnson will be very, very happy with the win. Well, there you have it. 50 points the difference. It's a sorry day for South Africa.
So it was a brutal test match, if we're going to be honest.
We're a physical side, and so were they. Like I said, as there, two of our players came off concussed. Do you think we give ourselves concussion?
During the game, I was trying to tell the players, don't worry about the score now, because we're getting our heading out. What do you say to players when you're 33-3 behind and you're standing behind the post? What do you say to them? And I just kept on reminding them to say, look, the one thing that you've got to realize is that we're going to get a hiding out today. Just battle our way through this game and make sure that when you leave this field, you leave no energy left in your body. And I mean, that's what I did for myself. And I think I took 2 years off my career in that game because I just ran into ruts and went mad. And if I look back at that team, and if I mention a couple of names, you'll get a fright, about guys that played in that test match, and that if we could ever have thought that we were going to win against a team that at that time was really the world champions, was actually unbelievable. And that we actually hung in there for the first 20 was actually quite an achievement. The game against the All Blacks at Loftus, where we lost 62 or 52-16, I mean, those two games probably stand out to me as the low point in my career, because what people must remember is that after the game, you still as sore, if not more sore than when you'd won a game, because you put in the same amount, if not more effort, and your body is broken after a game. But now you've lost, and you've got to handle all that criticism and the disappointment that goes with it. Because as a player, you also want to win. You've got that expectation as well as the public. So it is quite tough.
In all of this, there was another factor that often brought the Springboks down: the question of refereeing, citing tribunals, and bannings. For those viewers with a sensitive disposition, you must look away right now.
Tussen al die seer en die kraak is daar 'n springbok op sy eie. Alleen. Baie mense sê hy's gekwets. Dis 'n storie. Hy staan in al sy glorie, gereed om ons die gras te vreet. Hy sal sy mense nooit verraai.
I think it was the most difficult year in my career.
There's maybe one thing that I regret in my whole career is that at a certain point the captaincy became a little bit too important to me. I should have maybe said, what, rather than eat up all this nonsense, I'll just give it all up.
This episode of Springbok Saga was brought to you by Castle Night, the taste that stood the test of time.